Alright guys, we definitely got a special one for you today. Not only are we going to be taking a look at our brand new and final Dark Aether, but we're also going to be defeating the final boss of Modern Warfare Zombies solo. I'm actually really excited about this one. Not only is this definitely, I think, one of the best Dark Aethers that we've gotten, it's definitely the biggest. I think they actually really delivered with the final boss fight here. It was really cinematic and it was actually kind of difficult. I want to walk you guys through everything that I did here to get this done. This is also going to be giving you that very first piece that you're going to be needing to unlock this Dark Aether to come back in here and get those new schematics. With that, welcome back to the channel, everybody. If y'all don't know, my name is Ghost. Appreciate everybody that stops by the video today. If you're into zombies content or anything Call of Duty, rock the hell out of that like button for me and subscribe to the channel, guys. Getting so close to 22,000 subscribers, and I cannot thank you guys enough for all the crazy love and support. It honestly truly does mean the world to me. I can't wait to get into everything about this run after a real brief word from today's sponsor. Looking to unlock MW3 camos like Interstellar or Borealis completely legit, or the Warzone rewards including Royal Helix or the Decipher camos? Maybe you just don't have the time to unlock all those best schematics from Modern Warfare Zombies? It can even help get you any of those nuke skins? Then look no further than Mitch Cactus, the biggest and most reliable sellers out there with services for Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. With all the great reviews on Trustpilot, you guys should definitely check them out. Be sure to use code REALG for a limited time only. Alright guys, so the very first thing that you're going to want to do to make sure that you can actually activate this mission is be sure that you equip it before you start your match. I can't tell you how many times that I've actually came in here and didn't activate my correct mission. We are just going to be coming in here pretty much fully stacked with everything. I got a legendary Aether tool to throw on this FJX, still one of the best SMGs in the game to use right now. Definitely wanted something quick and snappy. If you guys want a quick loadout on that, I do have a video up on the channel. We're also going to be bringing in a Scorcher, and that is going to be one of the main things that I'm going to tell you guys is going to be extremely useful while doing this Dark Aether. The main focus while you're in here is going to be staying up on these platforms in the sky, so it's just going to be easier to boost around with the Scorcher. Now don't worry if you don't have the Scorcher, they do make it kind of easy for you guys. If you see these red glowing crystals, you can actually shoot these and destroy them, and they're going to be turning into these little launch pads for you. These things are honestly absolutely everywhere. The first thing that you guys are going to want to be looking for is these yellow glowing beams that are going to be in the sky. Once you make your way over to those, you're going to find yourself an obelisk, and there's going to be some hidden artifacts that are floating around it. You're going to have to find all 4 pieces, and once you find all 4 of them, you're going to have to protect Dr. Jensen from a big incoming horde of zombies for roughly about 30 seconds or until you collect enough souls. Now this one was definitely pretty easy and straightforward. Once we killed enough zombies, I was able to move on and look for the next one. Again, while I was using the Scorcher, and it was really easy to just kind of float down on top of this thing, and I was easily able to spot where like all of those hidden artifacts were. While I was defending this obelisk, this one ended up throwing me for a little bit of a loop, because halfway when I was done with it, the artifacts kind of like re-spread around, and I had to go around and recollect them. By the way, if you have an Aether blade, it's going to be incredibly helpful for you in here. Once I ended up getting the second obelisk done, this was when I figured there was going to be a third one, but instead Dr. Jensen said that we needed to make our way to the top of the tower and defeat the entity. I started to scorch my way over to the top of the tower, and instead of going to the top of the tower, it actually told me to go to the top of the boat, which is floating way up in the sky. I was kind of easily able to scorch my way up here, but I did notice that there is a bunch of platforms all around. They do have those boost jump launch pad things. On top of that, there is also like these green Aether tears that you can go through that'll teleport you from like pad to pad. Once we were finally able to make our way to the top of the boat, there was a portal up there that ended up taking us to a really cool looking place. Like a mixture of being in the Dark Aether and outer space. Just really cool looking. Now this is where you're going to make your way down and talk to Dr. Jensen, and that is when the boss fight is going to start, and this entity is definitely something else, guys. Kind of exactly what I wanted. I was just kind of hoping for there to be like a boss on the main map, kind of like the Red Worm, but this definitely will do. This boss fight is going to be relatively simple. All you're going to have to do is shoot the glowing orbs that is on her body. There is going to be a couple of glowing orbs that are on her that you can't damage for some reason. I think those are going to be the ones that Dr. Jensen is shooting at. Of course, she's going to be jumping all over the Dark Aether, just all over this little arena area. The one thing that I would definitely suggest is if you have access to some golden armor, I would put that on before you attempt this boss fight, because I was definitely kind of struggling for armor a bit. At first, I wasn't really expecting her to be that powerful. She ended up just insta-downing me with one of her beams, so definitely be careful. I think that having that Aether blade actually bailed me out a lot during this boss fight. And once you defeat her, like every good boss, it's actually not the end. Of course, she has a second phase. In this one, she's definitely a little bit more angry. She's going to be shooting a lot more of those beams at you, a lot more of those wisps are going to be coming at you, a lot more zombies. It's kind of like she has the powers of the Red Worm, but like times 3. Now, I know that some of these story missions and some of these bosses and stuff throughout Modern Warfare Zombies life cycle have been kind of easy, this one definitely is a little bit difficult. Now throughout her second phase, it's pretty much just like her first phase, but like I said, it's going to be a lot more hectic. But in this one, you're going to have to go around and defend Dr. Jensen kind of like you did down below. This time there's no hunting for artifacts, and all you're going to have to do is gather up enough zombie souls, and then eventually once you get enough of them, you can re-damage the entity again. I gotta be honest, I think during this part, like especially during the boss fight, I think I could have done this completely without the Scorcher. I ended up using the launch pads a lot. Found that those were just kind of easier and quicker for me to just kind of shoot around with. Also, don't worry about falling off the edge. If you do get knocked off the edge by like a mimic or something, it did happen to me like a time or two, don't worry, you will just get shot back up in the sky. Now I did realize that there was a couple of portals that you can drop down in. I did end up taking those. Now there was once that I ended up missing one, and it did end up shooting me back in the sky, but I wouldn't test it too many times. I would honestly say the most difficult part of doing this boss fight is just going to be staying alive throughout the hordes of zombies during the second phase. So definitely bring in a good weapon. I would recommend, like I said, this FJX or just a good SMG that you're going to be comfortable with. Something that's got some good, decent power and movement. I think that Mega Holding would also bail you out big time in here. Trust me, absolutely every second's going to count, especially when it comes to trying to take off those orbs from the entity. But I would also recommend bringing in a couple of self-revives. I wasn't being very smart, and I actually only brought in one self-revives, but the one thing that I did do is I brought in one of the Sergeant's Berets. So I did have my little soldier guy there to revive me once when I needed it. If it wasn't for that, I would have wasted my only self-revive, and that would have made me a little bit more nervous. But I honestly think one of the number one things that would have helped me out, like I said earlier, a lot during this is if I would have brought in the golden armor plates. I think the one thing that I struggled with a lot during this boss fight was just kind of looking for armor. I know what some people are probably thinking, of course it takes all of the best stuff to get, you know, this boss fight done. Well, of course, we're at the end of the game. This is, you know, the end mission. This is actually it. This is what we've been building up all those schematics and hunting down all of that good loot all of this time for, is for this. I gotta say, for me personally, I think that this boss fight really didn't disappoint. Like I said earlier, it is just extremely cinematic. It is just absolutely beautiful. Whoever did the artwork on this game, absolutely A+. Like, I mean, my eyes were just absolutely glued to the screen the entire time, and the gameplay of the boss fight is incredibly fun. Shooting around on those launch pads, and I was shooting the orbs while I was in the air and stuff. I mean, it is just incredibly a good time. And of course, once you defeat the entity, you're going to get rewarded with the Mr. Peaks bunny, which is our very first piece that we need to unlock this Dark Aether, so we can come back in here and unlock those brand new schematics. With this Dark Aether being the size that it is, I mean, everything that we went past and went through, just with everything, I have a feeling there's going to be so many secrets and just stuff hidden in here, and I honestly can't wait. But once you end up taking the bunny, Dr. Janice is going to end up opening up a rift so you can get out of here. That's going to trigger the final cutscene, which kind of leads us into Black Ops 6. I don't really want to spoil it for you guys. I think it's something you guys should watch for yourself, but I'm definitely excited, man. This was really, really cool. I'm about to hop back into Modern Warfare Zombies right now so I can figure out how to open up this Dark Aether. So far, I gotta say, guys, I'm kind of okay with this send-off. Like, I really liked the zombie boss fight. The cutscene was really damn good. I wish it was a little longer and maybe they gave us a little more, but I'm okay with what we got. With that, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. If you guys enjoyed the video, please do me a huge favor, drop a like on it and subscribe to the channel if anybody is new. I'll leave you guys with the rest of the gameplay, and like I said, keep an eye on the channel. I am gonna throw up a complete guide on how to open up the Dark Aether, hopefully tonight. With that, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next one.
Here, let's go back.